So it is, if it is based on the real world situation, so what happens is, the software should be adaptable to any changes, as like the changes I mentioned, like based on some pandemic also the rules are changed. Okay, that it should be adaptable. Okay, the real otherwise it becomes less useful. Okay, so even like when you are about let me give an example. Okay, suppose you are nowadays, this Flipkart doesn't deliver here, okay, in Guwahati. So now and they mention that it is currently it is undeliverable. Okay, but if they don't mention and you give order of that product and it's still like it's not delivering your product, then there will be a problem. You have already paid your money and there is not like any mention that whether when it will be paid or something, when it will be delivered their product. So everything is gone. You are not aware of that the product was undeliverable. You have ordered for the product and they have accepted the order and still is not delivering, then there is a chaos. Then you won't you will like keep on calling the customer care and they will, okay, okay, we'll deliver, and then they won't. So it comes up with the trust. It breaks your trust and you won't then it is not adaptable. And people, like what they do, they fail to use the app again. So we'll say, okay, we won't use Flipkart again because Flipkart is so and so. You just meant use just people, they lose their customers in that case. So it should be adaptable to change. Can this what happen? Next we have increasing complexity. Okay, so increasing complexity is not like when you when a real world application is involved, obviously lot of things are there to like lot of complexity increases because lot of things are involved. So if unless and until some work is done to keep the to reduce the complexity, to maintain everything, so there will be a problem. So this increasing complexity must be minimized. So okay, that is why, sir, just the before example only I'm taking, like Flipkart also, to minimize the complexity, what they did, they said that the product is undeliverable. They are showing that message from before only, that we won't be able to deliver you. Okay, so the obviously if it is not deliverable, the customer will not only will not order the product. Okay, then obviously it the complexity is reduced. Next is conversation of familiarity. So obviously when you are using any software, you should be familiar with the software, how to use it. Otherwise, if you don't know, if it is not user friendly, then you won't be able to use the software. Suppose let me take given another example. While if you take the same example also, if the Flipkart app you are using or the Amazon app you are using is not user friendly, and you don't know after like clicking how to order the product, how to like go pay the money, then obviously you won't be able to purchase any product and you won't like that software. Similarly, we can go for this online platform also. Now before we used to go for Zoom, then we came for Google Meet, now we are using Cisco Webex. But obviously some of us have our favorable like things, right? So for me, I still prefer Zoom. Okay, so the thing is that if we go for Google Meet also, there are some problem. Okay, problem with the recording type. If you someone have used if you any one of you have used Google Meet, you know that the process of recording is bit like tiresome. So you need to think, okay, how to find the everything record button, because the record button doesn't appear here. But okay, Cisco Webex I have find it easily. But still I find Zoom, because there are a lot of options are there. You can like go for pause recording, you can go for stop, so again you can keep on starting. So that is familiarity. Once you use, obviously you will be familiar, but the screen should be user friendly. Okay, if you use some app and you don't understand how to use the software, then no one is going to use the software. For that purpose, what you do when you write your normal C or C++ program also, you give the printf statement. If even if you don't give the printf statement and directly mention the scanf, then also your like program will read the character. But the printf statement increases the user friendliness. Okay, so we know that, okay, we need to enter the number, we need to enter a string. So for that purpose we do, that is the conversation of familiarity. Okay, now obviously continuing, next point is continuing growth. So this, it is like continuing growth, obviously you know that E-type software like is designed to solve some business problem. So it should be able to uh, like map with the changes in of the technology, and obvious technology, then obviously the real world situations. Like before, Flipkart was used only for books. Okay, I'm talking about in the year 2011 12 or something like that. Okay, when I was doing my BTech, first sem or something. So we used to order books from Flipkart, but later what it did is, it is now doing, it's entered in everything. Okay, now it is in you will find, even you ask for it, you will get it. Some, after some time it will deal with some vehicles also, you don't never know. So it will start with dealing with car. So now like now, still now, till that point, now for now it's not there in car vehicles, like cars are not there, but you can obviously find everything from phone, from bed, any furniture, sofa, fridge, everything, air condition. So everything is found, but it only started with books. Okay, next is reducing quality. So obviously if it does not maintain its quality, if the E-type software, if does not maintain its quality, that is the same point as the first point. This is adapting. So if it does not maintaining its quality, if it's in the process of upgrading itself, if it is unable to maintain its quality, then it's of no use. Like for WhatsApp also, that's an app, right? So real world app only, if in like maintaining, if after upgradation also every time, it's not maintaining its quality, then it's of no use. People still prefer WhatsApp over Telegram. Why? Because they are comfortable with WhatsApp. Okay, if any one of you have used Telegram till now, anyone use heard of Telegram? Okay, I have.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so did you use Telegram?
Yes, ma'am.
So liking it?
Yes, ma'am.
So still do you prefer WhatsApp or Telegram? Let me ask you. Uh-huh.
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp only. No?
So
Yes.
that's because WhatsApp has not reduced its quality, right? It's also maintained.
Yes.
Obviously, Telegram, obviously, because I used it basically because we were doing some kind of programs, FDP, during your pandemic. So they asked to install it, because for me, like WhatsApp was good enough. But still, because the organizations were using, I had to use it because I was satisfied with it. I don't know about you people. So obviously, that's because it was adaptable. WhatsApp was adaptable, but the thing is that if WhatsApp was not adaptable to the changes, okay, so then it's meaningless to go for, we should obviously go for then other apps. But obviously we like WhatsApp stick to our expectation. It's like able to stick to our like expectation. We expected, maybe you never know, in future also they may increase the file size or something, then we can go for this one, WhatsApp also. For now I think WhatsApp is good enough for me, because I don't share any long big files over WhatsApp, so not a problem for me. Okay, just till this point, any confusion? Because there are 8
No,
laws.
ma'am.
No, right? See, this is a theoretical subject. Let me tell you, this is a theoretical subject, and very important, because you will understand the practical implementation once you do your project or you join any software company. Okay, now you may find very boring. Even let me tell you, in my class also, when I used to study software engineering, I think that's the most boring subject I ever found. But the thing is that once you start doing your project, you will get your project in your sixth sem, then you will understand the benefit, and these things will be required. Okay, so please, and for software engineering it's like very easy also. It's one of the core paper, let me tell you, it's a core paper of computer science. And from everywhere, in companies also, when we will go for interview, you can choose this subject and they will ask you question from this subject also. And you know, this subject thing is that you don't have to study so much. If you like once just go through the line, you understand the basic of it, then you can say as much as you can. You don't have to just understand the thing, that's it. And you can say it in your own word. Same for the examination point of view also. If you understand the thing and go through just the lines one by one, and then whatever you understood, write it down. You don't have to mug it up also. That's the benefit. And it's like in a simple layman language, not nothing technical language, normal English. If you understand, write it in your own words. So everyone can do. I think that's the easiest part. Okay. Let me go to the next point. That is the feedback system. Next is the feedback system. Whenever a software is developed, it should like we are discussing about the software evaluation, right? Customer feedbacks are very important. Okay, if you are customer feedbacks, or especially when a team is developed for product development, a team is there for giving the feedback. Specialized team is there. Like in I'll just take a small example. Whenever you go for presentation, external is there, we internal is there. You people do your project, you give your presentation to us, and we give you some feedback, and you modify that project according to our feedback, and then again present to us. And this process is repeated until and unless we people are satisfied with it. Okay, so that is the thing, same thing with any product development also. When a product is developed, then the customer use it, give their feedback, and then again the process, if their product is modified, again it's used by the customer. So basically it's a multi loop. Okay, it's a multi loop feedback system, and feedbacks are very necessary to improve the quality of a system. If you like, based on if the developer, based on the understanding only, they develop the product and just, okay, our product is ready, then it's not going to work. Now you may like yeah, like in after 1.5 year, or maybe after 1 year, maybe you are going to develop your first project, okay, your major project. Or even if someone is interested, you can start developing now. Lots of codes are available. But see, the codes are available over the net. Projects are developed. You can go for bus reservation system. Okay, so like the lot of apps are there. Even your seniors, your BCA seniors, like this them, like what they did in the last time major project was they developed an augmented reality app. Okay, so what was that? That's a book info app. So they over like if you hover your phone over a book, okay, suppose hover your book, then what happens? All the content summary, then rating of the book appears on the screen. Now that is and in 3D. Okay, what is the benefit of that project? See, something sometimes some of you may be a book lovers. Okay, you may love to read books. Like I don't know about you, but I do that. Okay, so it's not possible for me to like when I go for a book fair, then it's not possible for me to go through every book. Okay, and find out like which is the best book. Okay, and it's hardly, so what that app will do, you open that app, then go just within minutes, that like within seconds actually, over the title of the book, then what it will do, the app will scan the image, and it will give your ratings, then basically a short summary of the like book. And then you can decide, okay, you can have a read and decide that whether you want to book or buy a book or not. So this kind of simple apps, small simple apps are available over the internet. Just you need to implement it. But you should decide, like everything is present, but you need to find out how to build it, why to build it. So thing is that you need to like if you code it the same way, I think for now purpose, being in third sem, I think you should start coding, because you know in this stage you already know Java. Okay, because you had in your no, Java you are learning, C++ C, I think you should start something C code. Obviously, you can try the tic tac toe problem using C. If you know C, if I know it's an obsolete language, but the thing is that if you know C, learning any other language becomes easy. But like because, and also you should see like program addition of two numbers, then multiplication. That's not enough. Okay, you should also be able to you should be able to implement small programs, like I just tell you the gaming programs. Let me find how to find this gaming program, the programs like the AI ones. Okay, it's very good to implement using the this one using C programming. Please improve your skills. You have the time now. Okay, you have all this week. Let me ask you, what did you do in the last 3 4 months or 5 months? I'll ask, let me ask, if someone had learned coding or something. Anyone? Fuzzies. So, Farzin,
No,
what did
ma'am.
you do? Did you learn coding?
Nothing, ma'am.
Nothing.
No, ma'am.
Okay. And what about Hemant?
Nothing, ma'am.
O- Okay. Please, now you have the scope. I know it's difficult, but the job market will be more difficult in like, since obviously we are going for online classes. I know you people, because now last time when you have physical classes, same thing will repeat this time also. That is, we'll have virtual classes, same timing. But whenever you get free time, please practice coding. Otherwise, you will forget it. And believe me, after this will help you people are from technical background. Knowing coding will only help you and will get you good packages, that is salary packages, okay, after you get job. Okay, if you know coding, you have a strong hand. Let me tell you, little bit of coding is also important. Please start learning, like go for online courses. And I think in the month of September we'll have the NPTEL courses also. Please register yourself for NPTEL. Okay, NPTEL is a course run by IIT. Okay, I think so you can choose your course, whatever subject you have, like C, go for C languages. They will conduct classes and you have to give an exam. Okay, you will get a certification for that. And for the certification exam certificate, you need to give only 1000, and then you have to give sit for exam. So please do that. Very important. This apart from the topic, I'm just telling you. So next is the back to the topic, self regulation. That is, hello, am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That, like, e-type software evaluation, because are self regulating. Obviously they should be able to self regulate the distribution of the product and process measures. Like, it should be able to change itself, adapt itself. So everything, it should be self regulation must be there. Next is the organizational stability. So this one is the last one, that is the eighth law. So obviously any organization, that is the for e type, they should be stable. The average effective um, over, like, the product should be, the organization should be sustainable. Like, it should not that you have just given the organization, like, after few, like Amazon, if you can trust the brand, right? Amazon, Flipkart, or whatever, you have Nika, you have lots of this app. So you go, if you, because these are sustainable brands, you trust them. If they are not sustainable, if they after some time they close, then no point. So this organizational stability must be there, and that comes from the this eight laws. So I hope this was all about the software evaluation uh, part. Okay, the software I discussed about the what is software evaluation. Then we came about the software evaluation process. Then we came studied about the software evaluation laws and the eight laws of software embedded system. Okay, next we have the software paradigms. Okay, so basically this refers to the methods which are taken while designing the software. Okay, I told you, right, software design is again one of the phase of software engineering. Very important phase. If you don't have a design, you cannot build the software, you cannot code for the software. Okay, so there are basically many methods. Okay, many methods, but we need to find out which methods we can go for. Like, don't know, I think in this time you have RDBMS also. So in RDBMS we'll study, like, we have some uh, diagram. Okay, I don't know, because from yesterday only class started, so we have some diagrams. Then in software engineering we have some DFD diagrams. But then someone can go through this flow chart also. So they need to follow a proper method. Okay, it's like for this diagram, these are for basically database projects. Now their projects, see, this your projects are also of different type. So if something database is involved, any database is involved, what is a database? By the way, RDBMS bit, like yesterday you have an introduction class. So what is a database? Anyone? Anyone? What is a database? Okay, no one is going to tell me. I'm asking. Yeah, Junmuni, can you tell me what is a database? Database. Junmuni, what is a database? See, if you are not comfortable speaking, you can just write down in your chat also, not a problem. Okay.
Ma'am, organized collection of data.
Yes, it's an organized collection or something collection of related data. Okay. Basically,
Related data. Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
related data. For example, you have an Excel file. Okay, and you have a student record. In student record, you have your roll number, you have your name, you have your phone number, you have your address. Everything is related to the student itself. So that is the organized. No, that is a related data. Okay, that is a collection of related data. So similarly, we have the Amazon also. When you have to go for any shopping also, what we do, we need to sign in. We give our phone number, we give our name, email id. So everything is stored in the Amazon database. Okay, so everything is a database. So this database project is different from the Android project. Okay, these Android based projects are different. Then there are research based projects. Types of projects are also very different. So I'll not going to teach you database. Okay, just I'm teaching in CTIS, so I just ask you. So that's one thing. So this software okay, let me tell you. So this projects can be combined into various categories. Okay, and this project is basically divided into three types. Let me show you. Like just okay, this three types, and you can see this programming paradigm. Okay, three types is there: program software development, program paradigm, and software design. So this programming is a subset of the software design, and this programming paradigm and software design as a whole forms a subset of the software development paradigm. So this here what it does is that software development, programming, and software design, here few phases are there. Okay, so let me tell you, there is software development. So this software development paradigm is also known as the software engineering paradigm. Okay, so it includes various researches and requirement gathering which helps the product software product to build. That is, software development is the big superset. Okay, you can say the superset. So it's basically consists of requirement gathering, software design, and programming. So that software development, under the software development phase, we have the requirement gathering phase. That is the what the I mentioned in the before, like first only, that requirement gathering is means what kind of product you want. The details, the specification is gathered, information is gathered beforehand. So that is the requirement gathering of is phase. Okay, after that, based on the gathering, a design is made. Okay, now for since we don't know any design, we because we'll study about system design, I think, in module 3. For now, think software design as a flowchart. Okay, you will design based on the requirement, you will design a flowchart, and then after the design is complete, then what you do, you keep on or working on the coding part is the programming. Okay, next falls the software design paradigm. Okay, so that is the small subset of inside. So here we've come under the design phase, maintenance, and programming. So ultimately, what this software design paradigm is a subset of software development paradigm itself. So that is why this design programming is common. But here we include the maintenance part also. We should think about the maintenance also. Okay. Next is the last is the programming paradigm. So in the programming paradigm, as you know, it's already a subset of this one software design and software development paradigm. So in programming, there are three parts: that coding, testing, and integration. Coding, you have to code. And what is testing? After you code in C program also, what you do, you go for the compilation process. That is the testing part. In software, like here also, in testing also, we'll study some kinds of testing will be there, some kind of validation, verification, then unit testing, integration testing, lots of things will be there. Okay. Next, we have last is the integration. So what we do when we write a program also, uh, okay, Okay, when we write a program also, we don't we implement the logic step by step, and then we after we done one step, we compile the program and check whether it, up to this point our program is okay or not. Then we write another code line of code, and then we check with that is okay, working together, that together is working properly or not. And so that's the thing, that's the thing about the integration. So integration, that's now in that case, now for now you think about this one only, like integration only, but integration we'll discuss in broad term once we study about the different models and everything. So till this point, if you have any confusion, programming paradigm, software design paradigm, anything, anyone, any confusion?
No, ma'am.
Am I going too fast? Please tell me, like okay, since you people have no confusion, so this was for my side today. I won't take lots of time. Okay, so for today's class, we studied about the software evaluation process. Okay, and then we found that in software evaluation, a person named Lehman, he divided software into three types, and that is the S type, static type, practical type, and the embedded type. And then after the embedded type, we found that in embedded type there are 8 laws. After we studied the embedded laws, we had that paradigms for software engineering. We found that programming paradigm is forms a subset of the software design, and this programming and software design forms a subset of the software development. So these are the things we studied today. Okay. So CR or Junmuni, Junmuni is a CR, right? Farzis and Junmuni. Please, anyone of you, please take the screenshot of the this one participants and just send me. Okay, just in my WhatsApp number the attendance for today. Okay. So in the next class we'll discuss about the SDLC. So please do let me. I'll share. Yeah, I'll create a Google Classroom link today, and you people need to join and share the notes there. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.